How to compare models when choosing the right boat. A big question that comes to any boat buyer's mind. In this video, we're going to answer some of those questions by comparing these three boats. Let's take a look at three Boston Whaler center consoles. The 330, the 280, and the 250. One of the first things a buyer's going to look at when coming to buy a boat is, of course, the price. And the prices vary quite a bit on these boats, but however, the features and the amenities and the power and also the seaworthiness, that's all considerations to take in. First, the smaller of the three models we're going to compare, the 250 Dauntless. When comparing boats, the first thing you should always do is look at their specs. The key to the boat's price will be found right there. Look at length and make sure that it's from stem to transom or where the engines are mounted. Then look at beam and the boat's dry weight, which will tell you how much material is in the boat. The beamier and heavier it is, the better it will ride and the more it will cost. We'll start by saying that Boston Whaler is known for making incredibly seaworthy boats, and this one, although it is the smallest of the models, still a very seaworthy vessel. It has a lot of the normal things you would expect on a center console, because they are a little more high-end. At the bow, ample seating with flip-up seat backs, chaise lounge with storage underneath. Coming a little farther back, hardtop, underneath the center console is a head. At the helm, we have some protection provided by a plastic windshield. Then we have our single MFD, and it looks like there might be room for a second if you wanted to opt out of the glove box option. Then we have just a well-appointed layout for all of our controls. Even though this is the smaller of the three models we're comparing, Boston Whaler was able to integrate a well-thought-out storage system into the back of the helm seat. This being a 25-foot boat with 8'6" beam, a single 300 horsepower is adequate to push her along. Now let's step aboard the 280 Dauntless. Immediately I can tell that I have more room here to walk on the side of the console. As I come to the bow, one of the first things that I notice, still have an anchor locker complete with a boarding ladder that would allow you to pull up and beach the boat and board the boat. Again, we have seating at the bow, but something I noticed is we have a full height glass windshield. This is going to give you a little more protection. So this is a larger boat, more beam, so we're going to have a larger console. That means more room in our head below. Let's see if I can stand up down here. Not quite, but it is quite a bit more room than the 25-footer. Some big differences that I'm finding at the helm. So this boat, being larger, has twin outboards, and also it has an option for a joystick. The twin outboards are going to give you a little bit better maneuverability, working each engine independently. But then this helm seat, not only is it a twin bolstered helm seat, but you can also flip it backwards and use it as a rear-facing seat. Another big difference is the 280 has this swim patio that you can deploy. Talk about nice getting in and out, or maybe pulling in a big fish. Two more things back in the aft cockpit that I didn't initially notice is they have a table that can be placed here, but also underneath the floor here, once you step up to the 280 model, you can opt for a Seakeeper option. One of the final differences I want to point out is this is powered by twin 250 outboards. So as you go up in size on a boat, yeah, you need more power. Why is that? Well, for instance, think of the epoxy that goes into building the boat, the interior volume of the boat, the features that are packed onto the boat, and then with that, of course, added weight, you need more power to push it. Next, let's step aboard the 330 Outrage. Not only are we adding length, but we're adding 14 inches of beam. And like I spoke of earlier, that's going to require more power, more material to construct this boat. With that added material, you get some extra amenities and luxuries. One of them is higher bulwarks. Maybe you're going offshore a little more. That might be something you want to look into. But also, we have padded bolsters nearly all the way around the interior of this boat. Still have an anchor locker complete with a windlass. Obviously, this being a bigger boat, we're gonna have more room for seating and storage at the bow. But something I noticed is there's more walking around room. So maybe this boat might fit better for, let's say, going offshore with more people and drop fishing overboard. Another thing that I've already investigated is the head on this boat is quite large, and it does indeed have standing headroom. For myself, I'm about 5'8", and I can stand up here without much issue, and I have 34 inches of clearance above me. With the added space below, Boston Whaler was able to provide us with a decent little countertop, sink, storage underneath, and this also will double as a freshwater shower. You come in here, it's a wet head. At the helm, under our substantial T-top, this one comes with twin Simrad MFDs, of course dual controls, and your joystick already installed. Of course, we have our full surround glass windshield with that ample protection. This T-top also has a few more things to offer. You notice these steps here, almost like a ladder? That's so you can access the top. Maybe you're adjusting your antennas or your outriggers, something like that. You can have easy access to that. I think this has a larger storage area overhead for your PFDs. Now you don't have to have your actual tea bag up there. This is already built in, so it's gonna look nice and clean. Back in the cockpit, we're giving a side boarding door here rather than our swim patio. Have a large rear-facing seat. This one gives you maybe a cut/prep board here, something you don't see on the other models. A little extra space. Over on the starboard side of our helm seat, a refrigerator. First time we've seen that in these three models. That can be a game changer on a hot day. The cockpit is quite large. That's gonna give us some more room for fishing compared to the other boats. Under the combing, lighting of course, and then dedicated broad storage. Then to round it off, the 330 is powered by twin 400s. So there's a lot of features that you can see that are different as you step up from boat to boat, and these all impact the cost of the boat and the cost of ownership and things like that, and all things you should be considering when making your purchase decision. Finally, where are you going to use your boat? The relatively lightweight 250 Dauntless is intended for coastal work. The 280 Dauntless is over 60% heavier and can handle coastal and offshore boating in reasonable conditions. And the 330 Outrage is the biggest and heaviest, and it is designed to go offshore and island hopping even in somewhat challenging conditions. So match your selection for your intended use. I'm Captain Trip for Boat Test saying, no matter what size boat you decide to buy, remember, life is better on a boat.